the closest thing that I've found that alpha linking can be reflected as is NEPQ for marketing, where it makes someone sell themselves on me being the only person to work with them as they're reading through my stuff, if that makes sense. Because they don't know how to work with me, or they don't know exactly what to work with me on sometimes, but they know they want to work with me as opposed to anything else at the same time too. A lot of times I don't know if it's the right time or whatever it is. And that can all be done through expectation and proper management and marketing at the same time too. But they do know that deep down that they're like, no, I don't know where, how, or what, but I know I want to work with you, if that makes sense. And it's all through speaking through the core identity and speaking through understanding their journey better than themselves at the same time, and putting them in a position where they're like, there's so many little stabs happening on a weekly basis that there must be a sense of, oh, this guy understands where I'm at and everything else at the same time too. And you link the pain point and the problems and the things that you do together and get those things connected on a sales call with someone who already wants what you're selling. It's a fun place to be, real fun place to be. I did a drawing, and essentially it is connecting your prospect's current situation through to their goals. At the valley down the bottom there, it's essentially getting their fucking brain to do backflips how we know what we know about where they're at right now. And when you do that, you get like legitimate precision targeting, if that makes sense too. And I came up with another mechanism the other day called metal detector targeting, because we sell metal, right? And you can use metal detectors to go find stuff. I'm so sorry for this, but it works. And essentially, right, like for your customer or your prospect or your ideal person you'd like to work with, there are a few things that sort of need to be in place. And this is all stuff that will help you guys a lot while you're here too. And it's like where they're at right now has a pain point. There are reasons why it exists. There are things they don't have or can't do as a consequence of that. And then there's the things that they hate themselves for as a consequence of that too. This is probably where I spend my most time in thinking about angles, offers, content, whatever it is, if that makes sense. A really good example of this was like, I used to think about like, what's the hardest thing about the hardest thing was always the questions I would go to. It's like, for us, if I wanted to get more people who want to learn how to do, let's say, organic marketing, what's the hardest thing about organic marketing? I discovered it was getting the person you want to comment below your posts and say, I want to work with you. Or it was getting the person you want to reach out to you and say, hey, I want to work with you. They were the hardest things about the hardest thing was knowing how to get an offer like that. The hardest thing about the hardest thing was working out how to do it repeatedly at the same time too. So I started coming up with swipe files that spoke to, I know how hard it is for you to actually get people to comment below who actually are the perfect fit for you. Would it help you out if I just send you across 74 examples of ones that worked and worked really well? And the people that opted in were like multi-6, 7-figure business owners who've been trying to work that shit out.